It's the same thing as if I were giving you advice. If I give you advice on how to run a marathon, you wouldn't take my advice because I've never run a marathon before.
Yeah.
If I gave you advice on how to measure or how to run a business or how to do a service business, you should be listening to me because I've got the 10,000 hours that made me an expert in that area. And so like that, like you should be listening to me for that, but not for other things like how to raise a dog. I've never had a dog before, like
Yeah.
that type of stuff. Right. So the expertise is really important here. And what it ends up doing then is it's that's who you should be getting feedback from anyway. So I'm just trying to reframe this a little bit as like you should always get feedback from experts or somebody who's done it before as much as possible. You're not going to hire a coach. Like my joke was always when I was living in Thailand for a while, there's a lot of 22-year-old life coaches. And I just thought it was funny because it's like, how much life have you actually lived?
Yeah.
You know, like, how are you going to, you haven't lived life. How would you coach me? Like, you have to have lived a little bit. But I mean, and that's oftentimes the case is that people are giving advice when they shouldn't be. So don't take advice from people who don't have the credibility or don't have the proven methods, but take the advice from the experts. Well, AI is able to give you that expertise either through an agent, which I'm getting hotter and hotter on these ideas of agents as a way of like taking our knowledge and turning it into an agent. Now, an agent is like, the way that I would define an agent. We're going to do the next episode on this actually, but the way that I would define it is, it's like you need a PPC specialist, you need a copywriter, you need a measurement expert, and in that agent, it would have a lot of the back catalog pre-programmed of what measurement means, what the measurement marketing framework is, what dashboards should look like, what questions you should ask for Kia, what information should you seek, what answers should you be looking for, like that type of stuff. You would go through our framework and that would all be programmed in there from our lessons, from what we're doing. And so what we're doing at Measure You, our Measure You brand, is we're actually creating a agent that is an expert in everything measurement from our 100+ hours of measurement teaching that we have in the catalog. It's training off of everything. How would we answer that question? How would we do something on this platform? And you can query at Measure You the agent of an expert. And so now you're getting the result even faster. You're getting the expertise and you're able to tap into us. And that eventually might be what you need instead of courses. I think we both agree that an agent that knows these answers could be more valuable